Thanks for tuning in to the Mo Better Radio. We are your favorite radio hosts.
I'm DJ Mo Better.
And I'm your boy T-Shine.
And today we have a very special show. We have a few cancer survivors that are coming in to share this story. And we also have a caregiver that is coming in to share her side of the story. So today I'm hoping you can receive and take from this interview from today.
Yes, 1 in 8 women are diagnosed with breast cancer per day. Breast cancer is the most commonly diagnosed disease in women. Although it is rare in men, there are 2,600 men that are diagnosed per year. So fellas, you are not exempt. Know your body. Check yourself.
Please check yourself.
Yes.
It's for your health.
Oh yeah.
Be here for your kids.
Yes. So check out the show. It's going to be a great one.
And the very first time I told my pastor, I asked for an appointment. I came over and I was telling him. It was on a Thursday night praise rehearsal. Yes. So he immediately called all of the ministers out of this praise rehearsal. And when I left out of here, I felt like I was floating. And then the next morning when I was to go and get the port, she met me there. I should have met her. You know, she was there before I was. And she was there with me the entire time. Wow. And she's just been that special person.
I think we fasted that day.
We did.
Yes. Fasted.
That fasted day.
Can you give some experience as far as with her too?
I remember, well, it was, I made it funny. I made it a funny day that day because she was so serious. And I said, okay, God, what can I do? She's always serious. But I said, what can I do to lighten it? To lighten the load, you know? And so we just began to talk, and I was cracking jokes. That's just being me. And I remember praying with her, and we prayed for the surgeon right before the surgery. That was right after he rolled over my foot with the little bed. But I said, that's okay. So we sat out and we prayed, and I remember when she came out, I remember her saying that they had to go in and readjust the port because it wasn't long enough. Wow. And I told her, you're here. You let them do what they need to do because it's for you. And she decided to go ahead and let that, be done. But to me, it was an honor. I love working with people. I love helping people. And when they're down, I like to pick them up and not leave them in a state that they are. And I would always ask God, why do I have such a nurturing? Why did you make me that way? Right. But it was for a reason, for such a time as this, to care. And I was just saying in the car yesterday, I said, God, it doesn't matter who the person is, their gender, the color of their skin, their nationality. Right. God, I just want you to use me to bring hope and a sunshine to someone's life that is down. And I've always said that, so it was an honor for me to care for her. And that was the beginning. I didn't realize it. That was the beginning of being a caregiver for those that have an illness, not just cancer, but being able to minister to someone that has an illness that they're feeling a little scared about.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. And so I did come back to the church and tell him, I said, I didn't know Pat was so funny. I stood right here on the stage. I said, you funny. You got me through that day.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to change your song. He's preparing me.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Now, how many surgeries did you all initially go through? You can go
I had
first.
2.
2.
Well, I had the port, then I had the mastectomy, then they had to correct something, and then if you've ever been in a hospital for surgery, they contort you just like you're in the Cirque du Soleil. So yes, so instead of, surgery's on this side, so instead of me having my arm like this, they probably had the arm almost in a broken position so they can get to what they have to get to. Now, when they did that, it did something to my shoulder. Of course, they're saying it's wear and tear. My shoulder was already the camel that broke the straw. Well, the straw that broke the camel's back.
Okay.
So, needless to say, I couldn't go back to work. That's why you missed me so much.
Yeah.
I couldn't even go back to work for about 2.5 years. Thank God for the Affleck policy.
Shout out.
Shout out. But they damaged my shoulder, so I had to have shoulder surgery. So, a total of 4.
How many did your sister have?
Oh wow, she had the port put in. They went in and they did a biopsy from the backside on her. Then she had a lot of stents put in to keep her bladder open.
Wow.
So she had quite a few.
Wow. Can you tell us about Miss Barbara?
I was just
Like
about to
this-
say the
like
same thing.
This her not cancer, but this Miss Barbara.
It's who she
Barbara.
is.
Me and Miss Barbara were competitive.
Okay.
Growing up, we were competitive in everything that we did. I remember there were times when we would be back in the room and we'd have the door closed and my mom would say, "What are y'all in there doing? You're probably in there exercising." We would be. Because her thing was, "You're not going to outdo me on sit-ups." I said, "No, you're not going to outdo me."
Wow.
So we would try to do one more than the next, and before you know, we're still doing them because
Oh
we're
my
trying to outdo
goodness.
each other. Then we would go and try to run out on the street because one didn't want to outdo the other.
Wow.
So we were very, very competitive, me and my sister. We fought a lot.
Barbara fought?
Yeah, me and Barbara, we fought a lot.
Oh,
Fisticuffs?
Yeah,
that's not the Barbara I knew.
we did. We were,
Oh
we
my
were,
goodness.
because we were so competitive. And I remember my father would say, "Oh, okay, oh, so you want to fight." So he would just move the furniture.
What?
He would just sit back on the couch. "You finished?" He would say, "Are you finished?" So he would say, "Okay, you turn to your sister and you tell her that you love her."
Oh,
And so if we didn't say it right, we were going to stay there until he was satisfied with how we said it. But she was awesome woman of God, awesome studier of the Word of God, sound in her teaching when she would bring forth the Word. And we would get together sometimes on the phone and we would expound on the Word and talk about what we've read, but just very studious in her teaching and sound in whatever she released across the pulpit. Just such an awesome woman of God.
Amen.
I'm not saying that because she's my sister, but just, you listen to people when they're expounding and it's like, wow,
Yeah.
just awesome. Yeah.
now see, that's how
good.
she walked around in Affleck.
Mhm.
Even though, and I knew her, so even though she was customer service, then a lead, she had the most silent tone you ever wanted to hear. So if you're having any kind of a day and you
Yes.
pass by her desk, you just stop and just listen to her talk.
Mhm.
And she had, and I don't know where y'all are from, but I know she had an accent of some sort. It was some type of accent that always caught me because I always asked her, was she from Louisiana? She had an accent, but she had the sweetest demeanor. She, regardless of what went on, she never got upset. And then she told me that she had began in the ministry.
Yes.
And I'm like, go on, girl. I think I read a book or something.
Yes, she has 2 books.
Yes, I know I read one that she wrote, and I've been looking for that book forever. But when I say that was a sweet woman, I never knew how old she was. Because she acted older than she really was, but she looked like she was a teenager. But yes, sweetheart to the max. So that's my take on her sister.
Yeah. And I know when you all asked how old she was, when I said 41, that's the age of when she was diagnosed. But she was 47 when she passed. Yes.
Okay.
So I wanted to correct that. So.
Okay. And what can you say as far as Miss Barbara to you?
We would talk, and I was assistant principal at the school where her daughters attended. So we first bonded as a parent to the administrator. And then when I joined this church, she joined, then we became co-laborers in the ministry
That's
as well as cancer survivors are going through the same treatment. And I just poured myself out to her. Whatever I could do, whatever she would let me do, I would do. Because I felt the bond from not only her, but from her sibling as well.
Wow.
Awesome.
So she was an awesome woman of God, as you've heard. And
Never
Quite the
complained.
fighter, huh?
Yeah.
But she
She
never
was a-
complained.
she never complained. And that's
I
a,
did not know she was going through in 2005. I knew nothing about it until I came back in 13 and I saw her, and she told me that she had cancer. I'm like, I'm down the street from you. I could have been up there helping, but she was private like that.
Very private.
Very private.
Very, very private.
Wow.
And I would have been there too. So just
I know, I would have been there.
yes.
I
No.
did accompany her a couple of times. She allowed me to go to treatment with her. And it was just an honor to be there.
That's good. Now, Maddie, you have a cancer care ministry at World Changers
You're right
Tabernacle.
about it. You're right about it.
Tell the audience about that.
And it is because of Barbara that
wow.
we
That's
have
right.
this cancer care ministry.
Mm.
When Barbara was at Noonan, the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, it is where she did her last treatments. My pastor and his wife were there visiting, and of course with the pastoral care there, they became knowledgeable of what was available and what they could do for patients. And they just soaked that up like sponges, and they came back. I'm a survivor. They didn't ask me. They said, I want you to. And it was because of what they had experienced with Barbara in Noonan
Okay.
that our cancer care ministry right here at World Changes was born.
Wow.
That is where we were motivated out, and I took the training. It was free training. And I came back, and I trained 12 others,
All
Wow.
right.
all our leaders, the whole ministerial alliance. And from that, we have been 2 years, almost 2 years in November, that we have been commissioned to go out and minister to those that are on that dark journey.
Okay.
And we are not selfish. We don't
No.
just do it here at home at World Changes. We reach out.
Okay.
We reach out all the way to Alaska. And
Yeah.
you would be surprised at how you can help a person over the phone
That's right.
Yeah.
versus
Right.
in,
Yeah.
looking at them in the face. You can really help them when they are in tune to what is going on, when they are at the right level with God. And, God don't come down here and talk to us, but we hear him.
Yeah.
We feel it.
Right. You're
So
right.
we could do the same thing. And we have a dynamic team here.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And we also bore out of that is our, in remembrance of her, we have our Barbara Goffney silent auction.
Yes.
All right.
This year, next Saturday, October the 29th,
29.
will be our
Okay.
second annual
That's
Yeah.
right.
Barbara Goffney silent auction.
That's all right.
The
Awesome.
Mo Better
And
Radio
she
will
will-
be in attendance
Yes.
at that.
She
We
will
will be.
always be alive
Yes.
here.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's
And
it.
that picture was placed on last Sunday, and our pastor will tell us the permanent place that it will hang. It's just in October, it's just on the stage.
Yeah.
But it will
Yeah.
become a permanent fixture right here.
That's all right.
And
Yes.
And on that particular day that she was speaking about, when we took Barbara up for her initial visit, of course they take you a tour where you tour the whole facility. Just wonderful staff in Noonan. We were just blown away. And our man and woman of God, they accompanied me and Barbara. And I remember the chaplain, she was a female. I remember her saying that she was just so impressed that her pastor and his wife came to be with her on that day. And it was in that session where she said that that they had a course that they offer to pastors to be able to minister to those that are in their congregation that have cancer.
Okay.
And they offered that course to them, and they took that class, and then of course, they brought it back to Maddie Kenny. And it was just a wonderful experience up there at Noonan. We talk about it all the time, just the love, the team that they have there for you.
Yeah.
But the chaplain is she was not only there for Barbara, but she really, really talked to me a lot, too, on the days that I went up there with Barbara. So got to know them very, very well. Became real personal with the chaplain because she saw me so much.
Yeah.
You know, it was almost like first name basis. When she knew Barbara was there, she would come around the corner and she would talk to me. She always hugged me and said, hang in there because you're doing a wonderful job with your sister. And
That's
so from
good.
there.
Sometimes it takes to hear that from
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
That's
Yes.
those simple words.
Yes.
Yeah, just something
encouragement.
simple like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, Miss Angela, what do you do
Yeah.
to, since you're a survivor, I know you have things that you do to keep hope alive, basically.
Yeah.
What are your hobbies?
I always thought that I was the best soul food cook in the world.
Watch yourself.
Yes, yes. Then when I had chemo, they warn you that you're going to lose your memory, you're going to lose this and lose that. I'm in the kitchen just stirring up something, and I said, okay, I'm going to lose my memory. Didn't know it, I already lost it. And I'm right now what I'm putting in the ingredients, and I'm jotting this down, a teaspoon of this, which I never do recipes. And one fateful day, I'm in there rushing from church and I cook in my heels and I cook in my pearls. My son wanted me to name my little side company Heels and Pearls, but I think it's something else. But he got pictures of me cooking in my heels. I never take them off. But all of a sudden, it was like if you close your eyes and just whoosh, like a movie, you can see everything that has happened to you in your whole life. Like if you're in a bad situation, a plane wreck or something, and your life just flashes. That happened to me, and I don't know what day it was, but every recipe that I had made up, I kid you not, just came pow right back to my remembrance because he told me to do this. Somebody asked me, well, can you cook this? Yeah. Well, how much you gonna charge me? I don't know. I don't charge. You want to buy the stuff? I'll cook it for you. Not knowing that he was birthing some kind of little business right then and there. So after all my recipes come flooding back to me, I get to work and somebody else asked me the same thing. So got on the computer, start typing. I can cook this. I can charge $30 for this. I can cook this. And the list just grew and grew and grew. And that's one of my hobbies.
Okay.
As you asked the question. But it's beginning to be a business, at least for the holidays.
Yeah.
Thank God. He'll prepare you. You just have to be obedient, listen, pray, and answer, and just do what he says. But all of that I never would have done before I got cancer. I know that sounds strange.
Wow.
No.
There's a lot of things that when it happens to you, it changes your outlook. So you can be the best basketball player in the world, just, slam dunk, whatever, going to the hole. Yeah, I know I can play basketball because I'm tall. But anyway, you can break your knee. You got to rethink everything you've always known about your body.
Yeah.
You may not be able to play basketball again, but you need to be mentally ready and prepared to do something else. So always have something in the background that you can do. So my children never went hungry. As a mother, sometimes I didn't eat so they can be,
That's
they
right.
can have food, but
That's right.
they never went hungry. So you can piece something together I'm going to brag, as a good mother, as a country mother. You're going to find something to eat in the house.
Is that right?
But that just birthed out of me going through cancer. And then since then, I've been doing some modeling.
Okay.
I didn't know they don't hire models at 5'3" height. I've been doing modeling. I've been talking to people about cancer. I've been pushing, getting your mammograms and your PSAs and all that stuff done. Don't wait. And don't wait until, I need to get an insurance policy. Now I have it pre-existing. Get yourself set just in case. Because you never know. And as you get older, it's harder to get insurance. It's harder to get covered for things that you may get later on. Just, be on top of things. So, me and my mouth, that's my hobby.
Well, that leads us to our next question, which is, what advice can you give people who are going through this whole thing and to help them better handle this situation?
My first advice would be what I did as a survivor. In order to remain a survivor, you have to have a mindset. And what I came up with is the Beatitudes of a survivor. And I'll just name a few. One of them was, just as Angela said, check out your insurance policy and see what it's about. Because once you have been diagnosed, you will not be able, may or may not be able to get insurance afterward. So know what you have before you're diagnosed. Each of you should know what you have. So when that time comes, it's not a pressure, there's no pressure on you. What I didn't tell you is that when I was diagnosed, being the assistant principal of school, my first thing was, okay, all these people here, I got to tell them some type of way. So I called a faculty meeting. And being the person I smile all the time, I said, they knew that I had gone through all of these, and they knew that, but they didn't know the results. I say, my results was malignant. They all just started clapping. And one person looked at them, that means she got cancer. They said, well, why is she smiling?
By his stripes.
I says, I'm walking this through for somebody else.
Thank you.
Yes.
But I want you all to know that, and I want you to know it's not a secret.
Yeah,
Tell anybody you want to tell.
yeah.
Because I knew that took the pressure off of them, and if they standing up talking and they see me coming, they wouldn't have to run or think that I think they're talking about me. I say, and if you have any questions that you want to ask me. If I don't know, that I can ask my oncologist.
Right.
I said, so
Right,
you are helping
right.
me as well. So what I say, not only, that was one of the Beatitudes, the other one was, that was the second one, that share your story with others. So they will be able to share one. As a teacher, I say each one teach one. So each one tells one, and they'll feel comfortable in coming to you. I found out in my faculty and staff right there, I had people with cancer that I didn't know. And one of them that hurt my heart, so I had written her up because lack of. Had I known, it would have been a different story.
Right.
So don't make it a secret. Let it be known so others can also see what you're going through and be able to help themselves. I will also say that whatever made you happy before you were diagnosed, those same things will probably be the same things that will make you happy afterward. But you need to have an activity, you need to eat right, you need to make sure that you don't just sit around and give up. You got to pump yourself up. As I say, you got to do that.
That's right.
You got to go forward. You got to push. And just let other people help you. Now, I was one. I'm a caregiver. I'm not a care
That's it
receiver.
right there.
It's very hard for me to let you help. Pat taught me how to let you help me. But there are people out there that want to help you and don't know how. But whatever way they want to do to help you, let them. You will not be burned out. If somebody want to come and cook for you, whether you like what they cook or not, maybe your family might like it, but don't tell them that, no, I don't want nobody else in my kitchen.
Yeah.
Because one day you may need that.
That's right.
Just be as open as you can. Make sure you follow the orders of the doctors. You know, one friend told me, as you are in the Word, as strong as you are in the Word, you don't need to go through treatments. Let God heal you. I say,
That's foolish.
God made all of these oncologists and all and gave them the ability to retain this knowledge and help us. I said, that's letting God help.
Yes.
Right.
But I followed what they said. What they told me to do, I drank water and cried because I didn't want to drink it. I ate food and cried because they told me they didn't want me to lose weight. The chemo treatment that they had prescribed for me was for me as I was then. If I lost too much weight, they were going to have to re-prescribe it. And who knows how I would take it. So all of those things were in the back of my mind, and I shared that. So that if for any reason, as you said, you see me down, frail, you're going to come to me and say, are you eating? Or are you drinking your water?
Yes.
Because they told me that chemo would crystallize in your veins if you didn't drink enough water. I listened to them, and I followed the order as though I was following God's order.
Amen.
So I'll say to them, do what you need to do. Follow the plan that was planned for you. Men, I would say, you are not exempt
That's right.
from breast cancer.
That's
That's
right.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Do your self breast check every month.
That's
Mhm.
right.
You will not be sorry that you did.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So I'll say, increase your faith.
Oh, yes.
If you don't know God, get to know him personal.
That's right.
Yeah.
He will direct your path.
Right.
Amen.
As I shared with them, there will be weapons formed against you, but it said no weapon formed against you going to prosper.
Shall prosper.
Never said that they were not going to be formed.
Right.
They were not going to prosper.
Right?
Yes.
Also, we are conquerors.
Yes.
Conquerors
Yes, we are.
through Christ.
Yes.
But in order for you to have the faith and believe that, you're going to have a relationship with him.
Yes.
Increase your relationship. Just as girlfriend and boyfriend, increase your relationship with God like so. And
Yeah.
you can become as intimate with him. And you can walk that walk. And I pray that whomever I was walking that walk for
Right.
saw it,
Yes.
Yeah.
got the
Yes.
message.
Yes.
What she
Amen.
said. She's still
Yeah.
sorry.
Man.
I think y'all know each other.
I know,
All right,
right?
Miss Fa-
What she said.
what can you
With arrow.
what can you give
And my
from the other side of that? From the as a caregiver, what can you give somebody who's in your same?
I would say as a caregiver, even as a caregiver, you have a support team
Mm-hmm.
because you're going to need it. Because a lot of times as a caregiver, sometimes you feel like you're alone. You don't have anybody to talk to. Even as a caregiver, you need to talk. And I'm not saying that you're talking about the situation, but you're talking sometimes to get some of that off of you that you're seeing day to day, that you're hearing day to day. First of all, you're seeing someone go through a transition that's brand new to them. It's not only new to them, but it's new to you as well.
Right.
So I say have a good support system. You need to get your rest. You can't go and not get rest yourself. In the process of caring for my sister, I had to learn this. I didn't have anybody to teach me, didn't have anybody to tell me, but I learned as I went. Okay, if I'm constantly going and not resting, I'm going to burn out. And if I burn out, then I can't take care of her like I should.
Yeah.
So I had to eat right. Sometimes I would find myself not eating, but then I said, no, I got to eat right because I knew I was back and forth, up and down that road going to Noonan. I think I could have drove it with my eyes closed. But I did it, and I never complained. We would get in the car. But I say have a good support system. Know that it's okay. Are you going to get frustrated sometimes? Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it's because you're probably tired. You're overwhelmed because you're seeing this going on, and something on the inside of you want to say, well, God, what can I do to make it easy?
Right, right.
You know, when I would see my sister be in so much pain, I said, oh, God, I just wish she wasn't hurting so bad. I said, but I can't do anything, but I'm going to pray.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I would just rub her, and I would just pray. And I would rub her and pray until she would just go to sleep. And at that time, when I was rubbing and praying with her, she was just in her chair, in a recliner, because she couldn't lay down in a bed. So I would just rub her, and I would stay there until she fell asleep, and then I would go home. I always stayed there, and I would wait until she went to sleep, and I would go home. And sometimes you may have to do something outside your comfort zone as a caregiver.
Yeah.
And then you have to know that it's not about you. You're there with a purpose.
Yes.
And I think that's the most important thing, you know, knowing that you're there for a purpose and to not what you can get, but what you can give.
Right. Right.
And that was the most important thing. And that's always my thing when I'm caring for different people. How can I give to them where they are right now? And it's not just for a cancer patient. Whether someone asks me to come and look after them, if they've had surgery, I'll be there. But what can I do to make the transition easy for you to where it's not so hard? You just rest. I'm here to make the transition better for you and smoother. And that's what I wanted to do.
Yes. Yes.
And our cancer care team had a lesson on caregivers. That was the most powerful lesson throughout the book, when you say, Pat.
It was.
Because you learn, I mean, it never crosses your mind that you are going through something that you didn't Google,
Right.
but because your loved one or whomever it is going through it, you're sitting there, you want to fix them, you want to get them well.
Yeah.
But you got to know, it's not, you can't, that's not your purpose.
That's
Your
right.
purpose is support them. You can't make them well, but
Right.
you can support them while they're going through what they need. Because if you try to make them well, let's say if you could make them well, you would have aborted what God had for them.
Thank you.
And through that, you may have not, you may have taken away some of what God was telling them to do if you
Right.
aborted what that was.
That's right.
But that was a great one. It told us how to
Yes,
how
it
to
did.
be to minister to through to caregivers, and it was just so powerful that wow, all I could say,
It was.
you just don't know. They are worse off than we are
Yes.
because we know what we're going through and we're being treated.
That's right.
They don't know what we're going through, but they're there trying to support us.
Wow.
Can you imagine just how that was? And that was a great lesson within. And I'll encourage anybody, contact Cancer Center Treatments of America, Cancer Treatment Center of America.
Get that
Yes.
information from him.
They have given us permission to invite other churches too. They still get the free training to learn how to minister to others who are going through this. Because now, as I would say, you know, we used to ride Greyhounds and Trailway,
Yes.
but then you would start seeing there was not many people on those buses. But you went to the airport and you found them because everybody started flying.
Yeah.
You go to the doctor's office and many times they're empty. But go to J-Back, they full
Yes, ma'am.
on every day.
Every day.
Go to the infusion lab. You have
Yes.
to stand up sometime or you have to go on another floor.
Mhm.
So with that being said, we got to have some people out there to help.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Because the doctors and the nurses and all, I think they have some special kind of interviews because they all have that kind giving spirit
Yes, indeed.
that they just warms you. But then there are others, the churches, there are others out that we can also encourage others as well.
Yeah.
We can know the resources that are out there to help others to get through this.
Amen.
I think you got to have a passion too.
Yeah.
Key thing.
You have to have a passion to want to help people,
Yeah. That's it.
you know, and
Just
and
love.
it's- yes,
Mhm.
Simple as
that's
that.
the biggest thing. Just loving people enough to want to, like I said, to lift their face up.
Yeah.
That's what it's about, because they've been given a diagnosis that has just blown them away, but then they see that you're there beside them. And the one thing that I learned, I can't say to you, oh, I understand. No, I don't
Not.
understand.
Yeah.
But one thing is, I understood my purpose.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what she felt when she had radiation. I didn't understand what she felt. And I couldn't say, well, I know that you were hurting. No, I couldn't say those things. But I said, I'm here,
Yeah.
and we're going to get through this together.
Right.
And I'm going to walk with you.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to remember, that we always have to remember, what is our purpose as a caregiver? Everybody cannot be a caregiver.
Thank you. Man, you just
Yeah.
nailed that.
And if you're a particular person that has zero patience,
Don't try it.
you can't be a caregiver just because you think that it seems easy, or you think that it doesn't take a lot out of you, because it's not easy and it can take a lot out of you. So everybody is not called to be a caregiver, just like everyone is not called into ministry. So you have to have a passion and a love for people in your heart. And I can say that I have always had a nurturing dispensation about myself since I was young. I've always been like that. I think that's why, because I've wanted to be a nurse so bad. Because I've always wanted to care for people when they were coming out of a situation. I wanted to be that one to lift them up. Always have.
Trudging along down this lonely road. The stakes are high, but I keep pressing on. They've been after me, trying to take my life. I'm only alive 'cause 1:30 and 5. My hope. 'Cause I'm counting on you, I ain't counting on them, no. I put my hope in you, Lord. I know you say what you do. I won't believe what I see, I believe what you said. 'Cause I put my hope in you, Lord. I know you say what you do. True. Times are hard, but I keep pushing to make it through. I know it's the weight that gets me, but I'ma keep trusting you. And though my flesh cries murder, I'ma let it die. 'Cause this here's the fight of my life, standing on 1:30 and 5. My hope.